Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today let's talk about the new T'au Combat Patrol. Actually, we knew about this combat patrol a while ago because the T'au Codex came in the Kroot army box, so we knew that it was coming, but at the moment of making this video it is official, it is soon coming into pre-order with the rest of the Kroot units. That, by the way, I made a video talking about all of them, so if you are interested I will leave the link in the description. As always, in this video I'm going to share my first impressions and thoughts, so this is my personal opinion based on my experience. If you have a different opinion than me, please let me know in the comments what you think about this combat patrol and if it's good for a T'au player. With all of this being said, of course, let's focus in the actual T'au combat patrol. If we get this combat patrol, we will be getting one T'au commander, one Breacher team, one unit of Pathfinders and one Devilfish. Is this combat patrol good? Is it worth it? I think that it depends a lot. I mean, if you already are an existing T'au player, an experienced T'au player, that you have like your proper T'au army, I think that there's nothing here interesting because probably an experienced T'au player will have all of this and probably more than one, so I don't think that there's anything here that can be like quite important to expand an existing army. But for a new player, I think that it is quite interesting and quite good. Let's take a look at all the miniatures inside of the box and let's start talking about the commander. I like this kit a lot personally because even if it's quite old by itself, I think that it is around 10 years old. It's a good kit because it doesn't feel old and that's always a huge advantage. And aside from that, we can assemble this commander in different ways. We can assemble, for example, like this or like this, so we can have different types of battle suits for it, and that's always a good thing because even if you get two, the second one can be completely different from the first one, and even aside from that there's like a huge quantity of weapon options for this specific commander, so that's a big thing in my opinion. In this box we have the same issue that we had with the Dark Angels combat patrol, but here it's not that bad because there's nothing in this combat patrol that the commander can be attached to, but it's not that bad here and I will explain why, okay? In combat patrol games, this commander can work by itself, that's not a big issue and it can be quite fun actually, so it's not that bad in those terms. And aside from that, if we want to start collecting a T'au army, at some point we will have to get Crisis battle suits. There's not an option because the range of the T'au is not that big, and of course we will like to get them because they look quite nice as well. With the Dark Angels we can decide not to get any Gravis unit if we don't want to, because Space Marines they have like a lot of variety. In the T'au Empire there's not that much variety, so of course at some point we would like to get some Crisis battle suits, so it's not that bad. Then we have the Breacher team that we can also assemble as a strike team, so it's not that bad. If we already have them, we can decide to build them in a different way. Or also the good thing is that if, for example, we are starting a T'au Empire army and we decide to get two of these combat patrols, we have already two units that we can assemble in completely different ways, and I have to say that that's always a plus because of course getting miniatures in combat patrols, it's nicer because they are discounted, but of course we always need to want all those miniatures because if not, we are not using the discount properly. T'au Infantry has never been their biggest asset, but still they are quite nice because of course they can do screening for other units, they can be trade units, they can do missions, they can hold objectives, they can do this kind of things, so it's not bad to have them. So I think that they are okay, it's nice to get this kind of units in a discounted way. Now let's talk about the Pathfinders. I really like this unit, it's quite good and they have a really good synergy with the army rule of the T'au Empire. There is a better version of this unit in the way of Pathfinder skill team, but I'm at this moment 99% sure that the one that comes in the combat patrol is the regular one, so if it's the proper kill team, much better, but if not, it's a little bit sad because of course there's like a better version of it. But still, Pathfinders are good. Quick reminder about the T'au Empire army rule, because it is one that I actually like a lot, because it makes you think. I mean, you need to think about what you want to do with this army rule. It's not a simple one that, okay, I just do this. No, you really have to take care about the army rule. So, during our shooting phase, because of course T'au Empire is properly a shooting army, we can have our units working in pairs. So one unit is going to be the observer and another unit is going to be the guided unit. So the observer will mark one enemy unit that is going to be considered as spotted, and when the observer unit decides to shoot against that enemy unit, it is going to increase the ballistic skill of the weapons by 1. If the observer has the marker light keyword, that means that the guided unit will have +1 to its ballistic skill, and aside from that, the shooting attacks, they are going to ignore cover. And of course, Pathfinders have this marker light keyword. That's why I like a lot this unit being here in this specific box, because it has nice synergy with the army rule, and it's always nice to have this kind of units. And finally we have a devilfish. This is a transport, and as I mentioned previously, T'au Infantry, they are not very resistant, they are quite fragile, so of course it's always nice to have them with a transport. So it's a good box in my opinion. I like the contents, and I do consider that if someone decides to start a T'au Empire, this is a nice foundation for it. Because here we have the generic, basic, simple units that we can get in every army. So getting these ones in a discounted way, it's always very positive. And aside from that, as I said, this is a nice foundation for a T'au Empire, because from here we can decide to build in different ways. We can decide, okay, I would like to have tanks, transports, and maybe just one unit of crisis battle suits to go with the commander, or maybe not, who knows, it can be by itself. And if not, you can decide, okay, I will try to get more crisis battle suits, or you can decide to get a big Kroot force, but maybe it's not the best to have a T'au unit, but still these ones can work to do things like holding objectives or do nothing, or maybe we can get the most broken shooting unit in the T'au Empire, and we can have the Pathfinders to guide that unit. So it's not that bad. I think that if we want to have a T'au Empire army, this box is a solid start. But as always, this is just my opinion, these are my first impressions. I like this box, and of course if you have a different opinion than me, please let me know in the comments what you think about this specific combat patrol. And with all of this being said, as usual, this is just my first impressions and thoughts. So if you are still here, please consider giving me a like and subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.